Okay, so now it's time to move, and you're going to be moving with your pets across state lines. Do you know what to think about and what you should be prepared for when transporting your pet? Stay tuned, and I'm going to tell you a few things. Hey, it's me again, Mike Bustamante with Keller Williams Realty here in Fresno, California. Thanks for stopping by. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I put out stuff every week about Fresno, information about the area, some housing, some wonderful events, so stay tuned. All right, so here we are. We're going to be talking about transporting pets across state lines. This is very important for you to think about, because I bet you thought that getting a pet was the hardest part. Wrong. Now comes the fun part of transporting your new furry friend or old furry friend across state lines, all while trying to keep them safe and sound. Moving with pets across state borders can be tricky, but it doesn't have to be. You need to know how to transport your pet safely and legally. Here are a few tips for safety, crates, car travel, airline travel, and more. Make sure you don't leave without this information. So here are some tips on how to safely transport your pet from one state to another without having any accidents along the way. Let's get started. How to transport your pet from state to state? Good question. No matter what mode of transportation you adopt, either road transport or through an airplane, it is essential to know the local laws of each state. Different states handle pets in different ways, so make sure that your pet meets all requirements before you're heading out. When you think of moving, it's important to ensure that the transporter has all the proper credentials. Make sure they know their local law and interstate guidelines so your move gets done smoothly. When you're moving to another state, for example, California, there are some vaccinations and licensing requirements. They're required by the state, and you need to make sure that you have those done. All right, let's talk about health certificates. Before you cross any state lines with your furry friend, make sure that the Certificate of Veterinarian Inspection, CVI, is secure. Your local vet should be able to issue one, but their fees are based on location and they do vary. The certificate means that your pet was in good condition when examined by a veterinarian. But the good thing is that you don't need the certificate for dog or cat while moving to most states. But still, it's essential to keep your pet vaccinated because somehow you need to have proof that they have been fully immunized. While moving to most states, if your dog is more than 4 months old, you need proof of rabies vaccine. In the case of cats, your kitten should appear healthy and there is no need for any evidence for anything. For adult dogs, you'll need to make sure that their vaccinations are up to date before taking them into any public areas or events where there may be potential to be more people around who could bring an infected animal into contact with yours. If you're in contact with your vet, inform him or her of any plans to move pets and ask about ways that might make the transport less stressful for your pet. There may also give valuable suggestions on how best to handle a move day or prescribe medication against stress if needed. Next, let's talk about crates. When you're moving to another city, you always need the right crate to move your pet. Crate size matters. The crate must be large enough for your animal to stand and turn around in, but not so big that they bounce everywhere. The best crates are spacious and comfortable, offering a haven for your pet. Dogs and cats need to feel at home when they're away, so their crate must be right with all the appropriate features, like leak-proof padding or solid construction. Crates should be made of rigid material, have ventilation openings on 3 sides and a handle to make transportation easier without contact with the animal's body. If you're going in a car, wheels can cause unnecessary movement, leading your animal to feel scared. If you want your pet to travel safely, label the crate this side up and live animal inside. Similarly, put your pet name and complete contact information on the crate. Let's talk about microchipping. It's a good idea to chip your pet before traveling with them on long distance trips. If they get lost, it'll make things much easier if you've implanted the microchips and registered their name at animal shelters as well as within local authority databases. The number in the microchip is permanent and doesn't get removed, so even if their collars fall off or something happens to break, it's still readable for lifelong identification purposes. It also has contact information, which means that they'll be able to use this as proof of ownership in the event of an emergency. Other important things your pet needs during traveling are food. Make sure you pack your pet's favorite food when traveling, because you might not find it in the new area that you're going to. Make sure you bring water. It's important to keep a lot of water along the journey. So if your pets get thirsty, you can provide them with all the water that they need. Do not let them get dehydrated on the journey. Their blanket. Bring along your pet's favorite blanket or sleeping pad on the journey so they'll feel at home with the smells that are already in them. It's the best way to ensure that their new surroundings don't seem too strange to them. This normalizes them more quickly and helps alleviate any anxiety or stress when surrounded by unfamiliar items in a new place. Bring along toys. Bring your pet's favorite toy along on the journey with you. It'll keep them entertained and happy. So make sure they're having fun, entertained, and happy to be around you. Bring some chew toys that they love the most. Always make sure you have a leash with you at all times, and put your dog into a harness. It's much easier to control them when they're in a harness and you have your leash with you. Do not let your animals run free at any place you stop. When you're out giving them some walks on the journey, you never want your animal running free anywhere. We don't want them running into traffic, and you sure as heck don't want them running into the field. We're going to spend 2 hours chasing them down. It's much easier to stop, take a walk, and control them. So traveling with your pet from one state to another can be a long, tiring process. If you're moving to another state that's really far away, it takes even longer and more time, so you need to prepare for the journey. The good news, though, is if you prepare ahead and take some time to research about the destination you're going, the state requirements, what's needed for your animal, then the traveling becomes much less stressful. Now, I hope these tips that I've given you above are something that'll help you out. So please enjoy. As you can see, I hooked a couple more videos up here in the corner. I hope you take the time to look at a few of them. And I hope everything I've told you so far is something that you can use while traveling with pets from state to state. And remember to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, because I'm putting out new videos every week. See you next time.